こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の動画は、鈴木彩艶のニューカッスルへの移籍の話に関する動画です。鈴木彩艶の移籍については、進んでいるのか進んでいないのかわからないくらいですが、獲得に名乗り出る名前が少しずつ増えていく一方のようにも感じます。直近ではリバプールや PSG などの名前も出てきていますが、依然としてエミリアーノ・マルティネスがユベントスに移籍した場合のアストンビラが第一候補なのだろうと感じています。個人的には、その次の候補になりそうだと感じているのが、今回取り上げるニューカッスルであり、こちらも守護神ニック・ポープの去就次第のようですが、ニューカッスルファンは、現時点でどのように感じているのかチェックしてみましょ
う。We here though to talk about transfer news. Like I said, Suzuki, whose name has came out of nowhere. The 6'3" goalkeeper, 23 years old, currently at Parma, but he is getting offered around. They're going to accept around 17 million, 20 million pounds for him. Talks of 30 million euros being the fee, so you'd probably see around that 20 million pound mark in total. And I'm really up for this, you know. Really am. I really like Suzuki. I think if it's going to be the case of where we're waiting over and over and over again for Trafford, it's just a bit of a nightmare. It's just a bit of a carry on, isn't it? Continuously waiting for James Trafford. You don't want to do that. I think it's good to have that alternative option there for Suzuki. Japanese internationally looked really good at the World Cup. Newcastle actually had scouts watching him in March at Wembley when Japan shocked England, but shouldn't be much of a shock anymore. You know, Japan got a really good side and Suzuki's pivotal to that. He looks like a top goalkeeper. PSG, Leeds, Villa have all been linked with him this summer, but Newcastle have held talks with his representatives in the last few days, according to the Evening Chronicle. So they're saying that Newcastle could be looking at Suzuki as a different shout towards James Trafford if they couldn't get the deal done for him, because yeah, the Trafford thing, it's just getting a bit boring. We'll talk Manzambi soon, but it does seem a bit boring with Trafford. It's like, just sign him. Can we get it over and done with? Hello, mate, alright? Can we just get Trafford done? If not, then move on to a Suzuki, move on to someone else, because we don't want the same names popping up every bloody year and we're never dealing out with them. Trafford's meant to be keen on the move to Newcastle. Eddie Howe wants him. He's wanted him for absolutely ages. So if you can get him, then do it. But if you can't, then move on. I think Suzuki's a really good option, especially at that price, because there's talks of Man City obviously wanting 40, 50 million for Trafford. Excuse the Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey quiff there in the wind. And I think Suzuki would be a quality option at that price as well. And something Newcastle need to do for a while now is sign different nationalities, man. I've talked about before in the past, since the takeover happened, I thought we'd be signing players like what Man City have done before, what Spurs have did when obviously signing Heung-min Son and opening up a huge section of the fan base over there in Asia. That's what Newcastle need to do. You talk about growing the club, growing the fanfare, making sales. Imagine Suzuki signs the amount of Japanese kids and the amount of people in Asia who'll be walking around with a Newcastle goalkeeper top and Suzuki 1 on the back. You know, and it makes a difference. They'll be coming over for the games, they'll be buying the big expensive tickets, and that's what the club want. That's what the club need to grow their revenue. Like I say, Spurs did it really well. Arsenal have done it in the past. Everyone's done it. Man U have done it in the past with African players and stuff, Arsenal especially, so Chelsea, everyone does it. We just don't seem to capitalise on it. We should have had just even a Saudi kid in just for the crack. Obviously we had the Mexican, Santiago Munoz, real life one. But signing some players that are actually of decent quality with a big name from that country is a great idea. Maybe we should, when we link with Jonathan David, like a Canadian in, you get a section of the part of the world there, Asia or America or wherever, and get them to support the Toon and grow the brand, grow the club, because that's what it is. It's a business, and that's a way of doing it to increase revenue. So Suzuki looks like a quality goalkeeper. Most importantly, though, and if a deal wouldn't get done for 20 odd million pounds, I think it makes sense. It really does. He's at a great age as well. They were still very young for a keeper, 23. Loads of room to grow. And like I said, had a good World Cup and has looked really good for a while now. But Newcastle, will they make a move for him, or will we just wait all summer to sign Trafford, get rejected, then end up signing bloody John Ruddy again? Probably.
But I want to move on because apparently we have been linked to Zion Suzuki, who's playing in Italian football with Parma. Now, I read a report about a week ago saying we were looking at a goalkeeper at the World Cup. He's just come back from the World Cup after representing Japan. Now, according to reports, his asking price would be about 30 million, so it's cheaper than James Trafford. 91 games, 19 clean sheets, and in my opinion, what I've found from watching him, he's one of those modern goalkeepers, front-footed goalkeeper who thrives on possession-heavy system. He's confident confident with the ball at his feet, he makes good decisions, and he reacts well in tight situations. Now, a couple of his standout attributes. His athleticism. Now, I like his size. He stands at 6'3", but he's quite broad. He's quite muscular. He's got a good build about him. So when it does come coming out, he's boxing, claiming crosses. He's very strong at it. So he is quite reliable when dealing with high boys. His size, reach, and his ability to command his penalty area is all there. Now, where he does excel is in possession. I was actually having a look before I started making this video, and he's actually completes more passes, has more touches than James Trafford, Robin Rissier and Restes. So he's really calm and comfortable with the ball at his feet. Now, he's not the finished article because he's quite risky in his positioning. He's one of those that doesn't mind coming off his line, and sometimes he does get it wrong. Sometimes he does have inconsistent shot stopping, and I think that'll improve with time. But much like James Trafford, he's confident, he's a risk taker with possession. When he's distributing it, it can result in a good situation, but also a bad situation. Now, I know I haven't dived too in depth about him, so I want to hear your thoughts. He's 30 million, so it's cheaper than James Trafford. If rumours are to be believed, James Trafford is now £50 million, which is a lot of money for a goalkeeper, although a goalkeeper could last, what, 7, 8, 10 years? So what would you rather? Would you rather go for somebody like Suzuki, doesn't have to be him, that's a little bit cheaper, or would you rather pay the money for James Trafford? Let me know in the comments below, guys. But I have been thinking about doing a goalkeeper video where I compare statistics, compare them all together. So if you do want to see that, let me know in the comments below. We've got to move on.
次は解説です。今回はあまり難しいボキャブラリーもありませんでしたので、便利に使えそうな表現をいくつか解説しています。それでは本日の解説をチェックしてみましょう。
Like I said, Suzuki, whose name has came out of nowhere.
Come out of nowhere は、突然現れる、予想もしなかった人や物事が急に現れるという意味のイディオムです。スポーツでは、無名だった選手が一気に活躍したり、下馬評の低かったチームが快進撃を見せたりするときによく使われます。日常会話でも、突然電話が来た、急に雨が降ってきたといった場面で耳にすることがあります。ネイティブが非常によく使う自然な表現なので、そのまま覚えておくと便利です。
Like I said, Suzuki, whose name has came out of nowhere. Like I said, Suzuki, whose name has came out of nowhere.
He stands at 6'3", but he's quite broad.
ブロードは基本的に幅が広いという意味ですが、人について使うと肩幅が広い、体格ががっしりしているという意味になります。サッカーでは、センターバックやゴールキーパーなど、フィジカルの強さが求められる選手を評価するときによく使われます。太っているという意味ではなく、横幅があり、相手に当たり負けしないような力強い体格をイメージする表現です。
He stands at 6'3", but he's quite broad. He stands at 6'3", but he's quite broad. He's claiming crosses. He's very strong at it.
クレイムクロセスは、ゴールキーパーがクロスボールを確実にキャッチすることを表すサッカー専門用語です。単にボールに触るだけではなく、相手より先にボールをしっかり保持することを意味します。現代サッカーでは、クロス処理の安定感はゴールキーパーの重要な能力の一つとして評価されます。そのため、試合解説や選手分析では、good at claiming crosses や claims crosses confidently といった表現が頻繁に使われます。
Claiming crosses, he's very strong at it. So claiming crosses, he's very strong at it. So now he's not the finished article.
フィニッシュアリコルは、すでに完成された人物や選手という意味の表現です。サッカーでは、若手選手について He's not finished article yet といえば、まだ伸びしろがあり、完成形ではないという意味になります。逆に He's the finished article は、もうトップレベルで完成された選手という高い評価になります。スカウティングや移籍報道では非常によく使われる表現です。
Now, he's not the finished article. Now, he's not the finished article. Would you rather go for somebody like Suzuki?
Would you rather は、どちらを選びますか？どちらの方がいいですか？相手に二択を尋ねる定番表現です。日常会話ではもちろん、YouTube やポッドキャストでも、Would you rather という質問形式は非常によく使われます。サッカーでは、どちらの選手を獲得したいですか？どちらのクラブへ移籍したいですか？といった議論のきっかけとしても頻繁に登場します。覚えておくと会話が広がるとても便利なフレーズです。
Would you rather go for somebody like Suzuki? Would you rather go for somebody like Suzuki?
いかがでしたか？ニューカッスルファンとしては、 ニック・ポープが移籍しそうな状況で、最優先ターゲットと見られていたジェームス・トラフォードは、決まりそうで決まらない状況が続き、かつ5000万ポンドという高額な移籍金からも、ここで出てきた鈴木彩艶という選択肢が、その実力と移籍金を見ても、獲得に値する選手だと評価しているようです。もちろん、トラフォードに関する背景からも、もう他の選手にターゲットを移すべきだという考えが強いというのもありそうですし、鈴木彩艶のことも、そこまで知っている上で話しているわけでもなさそうですが、本当に評価を上げるのは、鈴木彩艶が実際にプレミアリーグでプレーをして間もない頃でしょう。それがアストンビラやニューカッスルだったら良いな、と個人的には思いますが、まだ話が熱していきそうな鈴木彩艶の移籍の話を、楽しみに追っていきたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。